Hi, my name is Dorenda Kaido, and my persuasive speech is on the safety of wearing a seatbelt. The CDC and Transportation did a survey that in 2020 there were more than 22,000 deaths that year related to not wearing a seatbelt. In 2018, there were more than 2 million motor vehicle accidents that year. My main goal of my presentation is to convince everyone the safety and the seriousness of wearing your seatbelt. Some of the things that I think would be helpful is to increasing the fines. I think that would convince more people to do it. And also with adolescents, I think that ensuring that at that age, they're not really good drivers yet. So I think that's also very important to encourage them to wear their seatbelts. The different situations that can increase the likelihood of accidents is drunk drivers, or the weather condition can also have a big effect on motor vehicle accidents, or the fastness on busy highways in the morning and rush hour traffic, or back roads. I think sometimes people can drive really fast thinking that no one else is going to be on the road with them, but that's not always true. Motor vehicle accidents are the leading cause of death in ages 1 to 54. According to the CDC, more than half of the accidents when people passed away were related to them not wearing their seatbelt. The number just seems so fascinating to me because it's such a minuscule task, putting your seatbelt on right when you get in the car. I know growing up, my parents always made sure that we were all buckled in before they would even start the car. They would, ask us all and to make sure. So it was a learned habit with us to always have a seatbelt on. But I know when I turned 16 and had other friends riding in the car with me, a lot of times their parents did not teach them that. So you really have to encourage everyone to have it on. Also, pregnancy, I know that as new moms, or when you first find out that you're pregnant, you're worried about the tightness of the seatbelt over your stomach, that it would hurt the baby. But also it's the best thing that you can do, because you don't want to have an accident and just be thrown all over the car and hurt you and the baby. So it's really important during pregnancy to have it on. And not wearing your seatbelt, I figure also it's just a lot of people don't know the knowledge or the statistics about wearing it, especially, like I said before, the adolescents. They just don't know the seriousness of it. When you're that young, you just think that you're indispensable, that nothing's ever going to happen to you. But as we know, things can happen. Accidents happen, and when you're teenagers, they seem to want to drink a little, then drive. So it's very important. Airbags. Now that the cars have gotten more techy, and there's so many different things that they can do now. I know that the airbags have gotten better and better, and I know they even have them in the sides of the door now. So you also have on impact in the front of the steering wheel, the sides. They're just like you're almost in like a bubble. And so another reason they think that would be enough protection without wearing their seatbelt, but it's actually not. You can still be thrown around, and maybe the seatbelts or the airbags would not come out on impact, which would just be, horrible. So even though we've gotten safer cars, I know Volvos, and there's several cars that are 4+ ratings when it comes to safety, but that does not ever, would not mean that you would not need to wear your seatbelt. It's very important. because we all want to live long lives and be here for our children and our grandchildren. So it's important to always wear your seatbelt, and I think it would be a great idea to go to the high schools where the young kids are just learning to drive. And I was in a wreck when I was 17. I had a very small car. It was actually a little bit smaller than a Volkswagen. I was hit by a truck, and if I hadn't have had my seatbelt on, I probably wouldn't have made it because the car just collapsed inside. But because I had my belt on, I wasn't flown all over the place, and I was able to stay in one place, so I avoided a lot of injuries. I was hurt, but nothing like it would have been if I would have not been wearing. So it's a great idea. So, and also the fines in St. Louis County are only $100 if you get stopped. So $10 if you don't have your seatbelt on. So I think increasing that to $100. I think sometimes when you hit the pocket, and especially the young ones that don't have a lot of money and are just working part-time jobs and going to school, I think it would make a big difference in their lives also. So I hope that you've enjoyed my speech. I think it's a very important one that I'm hoping that I know that our country will never be 100% everyone wearing their seatbelt. But I hope that someday we will all see the importance in it. So thank you very much for listening, and thanks so much.